friend, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you're already subscribed. My name is Taylor. I am a witch here on YouTube. I talk about tarot, spirituality, sometimes whatever we want, but today we're going to be doing a reading on what needs to change in your life in order for the next chapter to be called in. So I have 3 piles today, but first I just kind of want to go over what we're going to be looking at in this reading. First, we're going to be looking at your overall vibe and just do like an energy check-in and see where you are lately. Second, we're going to be doing just a general how has life been treating you lately? Good, bad, meh, we'll see. 3, what problems are surfacing? 4, how is this negative pattern affecting your spiritual development? 5, where is this coming from? And then 6, we're going to do some reflection prompts. I have some like question cards for you to either journal if you do that, or just for you to kind of sit in like meditation or just like ponder on to get to the bottom of where this issue is really coming from, if you're ready to let go of it in order to move on. So like I said, we have 3 piles to choose from. We have pile 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. I'm gonna go ahead and switch angles too if you want to see it from a different way, and that way you can pause the video and kind of take a second and think what pile you want to choose before you select your timestamp. Okay, so here they are from a different angle. Again, pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. The timestamps will be linked in the description box down below, as well as my links for my website if you want to get a personal reading or astrology consultation from me, or follow me on any of my social medias. They will be in the description. But with that being said, I will see you in your reading. Hi pile 1, welcome to your reading. If you chose the first Santa, you were in the right place. I did go ahead and pre-shuffle your oracle today because I wanted to be able to take notes while I was shuffling, because sometimes it can be hard on camera to take exactly what I want to say. So we're gonna go ahead and start with our first question, your overall vibe currently and your energy check-in. So first we have self-care here. If not me, then who? To tend to a wholeness, the parts in which surrender, thy pulse for a heart that's nearer than any other. We have feasting. Let us feast upon the nourishing and be thankful for thy feast, nor here or there, yet everywhere it be. And then lastly, we have gatherings. Gather, gather, festive witches, speak of joy and drink to wishes. Take 1, give 2, celebrating all blisses. So I get the vibe, pile 1, that you've been keeping yourself busy with distractions, with whether that be other people, it could be work as well, or just because of the holiday, you've been doing a lot more socializing than you normally would be. So it's not necessarily like a bad thing, but I think that there's been a lot of extra distraction in your life. It's likely probably a little bit of both. I think you're probably struggling to be kind of alone with your thoughts right now. And it's kind of helping that it is the holiday season, because you are able to do so much more socializing just by obligation. I do think that you're in a really grateful energy though for the people in your life and just your overall life circumstances. I think that your life was probably very different at this time last year, and you're doing a lot of, whether it's conscious or subconscious, reflection on the blessings in your life. And I think that's a really beautiful place to be. And I just feel a lot of gratitude coming from you for the friends you have too, for if you're in a relationship, your romantic partner, your family, whoever it may be. I think you're just really feeling blessed to have as many people in your life as you do. And I think that this has been a common theme for you like since Thanksgiving happened, and will continue into the holiday season in December as well. But there's a lot of acknowledgement of how grateful you are for the things in your life. And I think a thing to note here is that's great too. I'm definitely not saying don't do that, because that's a great place to be. You're in a good energy. Make sure that you're directing some of that gratitude back onto yourself as well. And I think that to that point too, you are actively trying to be more gentle with yourself, and you're actively trying to grow and heal. I think that it's likely a lot of you are starting maybe a new medication at this time, or a new regimen for your mental health. You're actively taking steps to continue to improve yourself all the time. I don't think that you're somebody who likes to be stagnant. you're somebody who likes to constantly be looking at like, okay, I am proud of myself for doing these things, but what else can I do better in the future? I think your mental health is also in a much better place this year than it was last year. And incorporating these new regimens or medications, whatever it may be in specific, is just you continuing to be like, how good can it get? Like, I want the universe to show me how good it can get. And you're just feeling more confident in yourself to make those decisions and make those choices. And I think this is a great place for us to start with your overall energy, but you're definitely in an overall good place. There's good things in your life, and you're making good steps towards the next chapter of your life too. So question number 2. How's life been lately overall? Let me pull our oracle. We have when the wilderness calls, I listen. Places to be, webs to shoot. And they put me in charge for a reason. So I think on the one hand, like I said, you're grateful for those things, but you're also kind of feeling maybe stressed or overworked in some way. You're sort of loving that because I think that you really like to work, pile 1. You might be like a workaholic. And if it doesn't apply to work, you might be feeling kind of burnt out from all the social interactions you've been doing, but I think a part of you really loves it as well, but sort of balancing the overworking yourself. Like, don't overindulge too much in it. Try to take as much time as you can to balance those two things together. I think it's also very possible that you're going to be traveling, you have been traveling, or you're going to be traveling in the near future. It could very, very likely be in nature with this wilderness card here. But it just in general doesn't have to be. I do think that you're feeling called to reconnect with nature in some way, or spend time just like in solitude outside, even if you're not going on a literal trip. I also think that you're in this energy right now with this card here with the like they put me in charge for a reason. You don't have time for people's bullshit right now. So even though you're spending a lot of time with other people, it's people you want to be around. Like, you know where you end and they begin. You're not having issues with like bleed over happening, and maybe that's something you struggled with in the past, but you just don't have time for the bullshit, period. Like, you're here to show up for the people that you love and the people who reciprocate that back to you. Also, this came through really strongly. An ex will not leave you alone. It could either be an ex-partner, an ex-friend, or whatever it may be, but they are obsessed with you and you could not give a fuck less about them. And that's really good, because I think you're in a really good place with detachment from the things that you want in your life, like that you want to call in from your life. And also you're in a good place with detachment from things that have left your life. And I think that's largely the reason you're able to be in such an energy of gratitude. You've been listening to your heart and your intuition a lot more, and it's making you feel much more connected with yourself and with your spirituality and the people around you. So you're in a really good place, pile 1. I think you're my people. The reason you clicked on this reading is you're my people who are always like, something always needs to change. And we are like ongoing construction projects, but also at the same time, make sure that you are taking acknowledgement to the amazing person you are now too. Okay, so for question number 3, what problems are surfacing? We have third harvest. We have falling in love. And we have All Hallows Eve. Okay, so with this third question here, this is what I channeled. I think that there is, although you're feeling really confident right now and grateful for the things in your life, and that's a great place to be, I do also think there's an energy where you could possibly be feeling lost or just like confused a little bit with like what the next chapter is, and that's intentional. Like, it's spirit is unfolding things to you only 1 or 2 steps at a time. I just have 44 as well. Spirit is unfolding things to you one or 2 steps at a time, and you're getting frustrated that you can't see the whole path like illuminated in front of you, but that's super, super intentional. And I think the frustration of that is normal too, but just know it's not that you're not like on the right path, but you're only gonna get things unfolded to you little by little. And I'm really getting the essence too. There's so much like forest imagery with your reading. And I really think that you need to go reconnect with nature, because I'm hearing this metaphor. Even though you're lost and like wandering, going through these woods and like listening to the trees, you're going to know the way. So in a more literal sense, like I was saying, with those 1 or 2 steps ahead of you, you already know where you're going. Even if you don't see it, your higher self knows. And you know where you're being led, even in the most like subtle ways possible. So having that trust in yourself and in the divine, I think, is a really good next step for you to take. We also have here, I have Lilith coming through really strongly for your reading. I don't know if some of you guys work with Lilith or just the energy of Lilith here too. So again, like that boundary setting, that the not giving a fuck about like people you don't have time for, stuff like that, is very much so the energy of her, like archetypally speaking. So take that one as it resonates. You could also just have long black dark hair, or kind of like a gothic essence to you. And I think it's important to tell you as well, with this like X coming through in the last question, so again, whether it's a partner, friend, or whoever, an ex somebody in your life, a good reminder for you at this time is something you love can be something you miss. It does not mean you go back, so don't let that confuse you either, because you're afraid of not seeing the path ahead of you completely. And I don't think that you're in that energy. Like, that's not something you would very easily or want to do. But I can see if you're getting frustrated to be like, well, maybe it would be easier just to go backwards instead of forwards. Don't fall into that trap. Keep continuing forwards. Even if you don't know everything yet, you will start to know more things as you continue. So question 4 here, how is this negative pattern affecting your spiritual development? We have 4 cards here. 1, we have nature communication. We have clock time. Manage to be glad. And the right way. So, with this, you know the answer is the first thing I heard again with this pile. I'm reading my notes here, and that's the first thing that I channeled, is that you know the answer. And I'm getting that from the right way here. Like, you're learning to create the life that you want little by little. And the more you continue to understand how simple it is to do that, the better. So right now, even though you're just feeling a little confused, confidence is key. So keep leaning into that. Continue to choose to be happy, continue to choose routines, continue to choose wellness, affirmation tracks, gratitude lists, even meditations if some of you meditate. There's just a really like dark feminine, like, I hate to use this word, but like girl boss energy coming from you. I really, really love it. You guys are in a really interesting and like fun chapter. So there's not like a lot that needs to be happening here to clear house. It's more of just, I think, Spirit's coming through me to tell you that like you're doing everything right. Don't worry about feeling confused. It's okay, because you're intentionally feeling that way right now. You don't need to clear out being confused. Just continue to be confused and confident at the same time. Oh, also, I feel like some of you could be feeling more anxious lately. Just could be more worried in general with this clock, like time here. I feel like you're worried about a reality timeline too much and not so much about divine timing. So there's just like a fear here with you not like being on the other people's like time schedules. So you might be feeling a lot of anxiety and worry surrounding that. But again, Spirit came through and was saying with that there to go out in nature. I can't emphasize that enough with you, Pile 1. Even if it's just in your own backyard, go meditate, go journal outside. Just go hang out outside and be with your thoughts, read a book, because I think that you're going to find a lot of peace from this, and possibly even guidance in like the next direction to go if you're really feeling like you need that. But overall, I think it's just meant to be like a mental health retreat for you to find solace in nature and like in your own backyard and like peace within you. Okay, so then we have number 5 here with where is this coming from? If you've ever dealt with like fear, anxiety, bullying, panic attacks, PTSD, this is coming from a place where Spirit wants you to keep pushing for peace. And these were the cards that came through with that question. You and your loved ones are safe. New moon in Cancer. Your commitment is being tested. Work through your fears. And believe in the impossible. I'm going to put that one in the middle because that one is the most important one here. There's a lot of water coming through. And it's very likely that you are a water sign. It's somewhere in your chart, like very prominently. And that's why I think partially that you're so intuitive as well. I think that it's always been very natural for you to like walk the path. But this is coming up because Spirit wants you to keep pushing for that peace. Doesn't mean you have to get rid of fear and anxiety completely, but keep pushing to find what peace means for you, creating a place where you can escape to. I was also listening to Spotify while I was channeling, and the Lana Del Rey song Say Yes to Heaven was playing, and the specific lyric, let the fear you have fall away, came through really strongly. So I highly recommend going to listen to that channeled song, Say Yes to Heaven by Lana Del Rey. And Spirit's asking you with this card here too, your commitment is being tested. How bad do you want a new you and a new life? How bad do you want to create peace in your life consistently? And not as a form of punishment or saying that you're not doing enough now, but it's just how committed you are to this new life you're trying to call in and these new goals that you want. And another lyric from that song actually is, in my storm I stay clear. And I think you are doing a really good job at that, pile 1. You are maintaining level-headedness the very best that you can right now, even if you're dealing with those like fears and anxieties. Oh, also, this came through so randomly. I think a friend of a friend is interested in you possibly, or like a friend is going to be setting you up with one of their friends soon, because I just get the sense of like new unexpected love coming in for you. So be on the lookout for that. That was coming in really, really strongly. So now let's do your journal prompts here. And this can be a literally like journal. This can be just reflected on. Maybe go outside and think about these. But firstly, we have, what do you do that keeps hurting? Secondly, we have reminder. Take time to process the good things too. And lastly, what could you benefit from letting go of? What are you still holding on? So Spirit is overall like, I just feel like Spirit is so pleased with you, right? I think that you're just in a really good place and you're doing your best with everything that you have. And there's just a lot of encouragement for you to just find a lot of peace both outwardly and inside of yourself too. So I do hope this reading was helpful, pile 1. You have such a good and beautiful energy. Keep doing what you've been doing. I hope these messages did help you. If you enjoyed this video, leave me a like and a comment letting me know if it resonated. And if you like my vibe, please do stay and subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you here. But either way, have a beautiful and blessed week and a beautiful holiday season. I will see you later. Bye. Hi pile 2, welcome to your reading. If you chose the Pink Santa, you are in the right place. So I pre-shuffled your cards today and we're gonna go through one by one and break down this reading. So first, starting with your overall vibe currently and just your energy check-in, we have light, we have Yule log, and we have silent nights. The number 32 might be significant, whether some of you are 32. Could be like a birthday as well. It doesn't have to be, but I've seen it twice. So with these cards here, I get the sense that lately you've been trying to find the light and like be grateful for the things around you. After like a really dark period in your life, you might still be in it. And you know it's coming, but you feel like it's just out of your reach. You just don't quite know how to get there yet to like find the light completely. But I think that you've been working on being more optimistic. I also, a lot of imagery of like, we have like the candles here and the candles here as well. So it's about a spark for you. It's about finding passion and what really set your soul on fire. like what makes you, maybe I get a sense too, a lot of you are like creatives in some way, artists, painters, but creatives in any way that resonates for you. But you're trying to get like creative inspiration again. You might have had like a block there for a while, and you're just trying to find what you're really like feeling passionate about at this time. So you've just been looking for the spark again after like a long period of like burnouts. You felt like your candlelight was like diminished, and it just seems like right now you're really focused on exiting dark times and becoming your own light. And even though like you're looking for light elsewhere and finding creativity, you know now that it's about the change happening within you first before you see it outwardly. So that's where you're focused, on controlling what you can within yourself. And it's a really good place for you to be too, because I think that a lot of you here, Pile 2, have maybe you left a friend group, or you cut off a lot of people from your life, and you've been spending a lot of time by yourself and just feeling like overall kind of like lonely and isolated from the world, just cut off a little bit. And it's nice that you're in this place now where even though you're not feeling 100%, you're ready to take steps onto exiting that like dark night and becoming your own light. So how has life been lately? We have potions and spells. Number 28, a pinch of this, a dash of that. Be sure you're ready before you call. We have the underworld. Hand over your known, shift near, take a leap, your journey is clear. Some of you might work with Hecate as well, or Hecate wants to work with you, because we have the triple goddess, we have elements. Remember to feel the warmth pulsing through her womb. You're a child of mother. True harmony awaits you. So with this here, like again, I feel like you're working on finding like a good balance of everything in your life. You're being guided to take a leap of faith, because it seems like you have the rarity in this circumstance, Pile 2, where you kind of know what's on the other side of that leap of faith. And I think maybe some of you are scared subconsciously to be happy, because what happiness means for you is that it can be stripped away from you again. Some of you might have gone through some traumatic experiences, and even if not traumatic, disappointing experiences where something that made you really, really happy was like just ripped out of your hands. And I think that there's a part of you that's keeping you in sadness and trying to hold you back, because you're like telling yourself in some way, if you never get your hopes up, you can never be disappointed. But now Spirit is telling you, be clear on what you want, because there is opportunity coming. And this can be different for everybody. It could be through witchcraft, it could be through manifestation, it could be also because we are about to enter a new year, doing vision boards. But Spirit's telling you right now, this is a good time for you to set your intentions and shed that fear surrounding, if I stay small, then nobody can ever hurt me. Because if you stay small, you're also never going to get to experience the better things in life, like this new chapter. Because I think that is where the big fear that's like surfacing for you guys. Like, you do keep trying to like put this effort into moving on from a darker chapter, but there is a big part of you that's holding yourself back unknowingly and like getting in your own way. And I totally understand that. But so it's just a matter of getting to the bottom of that and telling yourself, no matter what happens, I'll be okay. And having that strength in yourself to know that it's to experience love and happiness. You also sign up to take the risk of grief and pain when those things potentially end, and just becoming okay with it. So number 3 here, what problems are surfacing? We have a good guard dog is hard to find. Domino, I'm always feeling lucky. And this came out in reverse originally, but I flipped it around, and I will explain why in a second. We have Iron Man, what are you really protecting? Okay. So, I believe this for you. I flipped it around because, again, I think that you went through a really unlucky period, maybe a long period of unlucky stuff, but that's changing. And I just got the sense of that, and that's why I turned it around. Your luck is switching. The karmic wheel is going the other way now. But there's also a lot of, like, boundary setting going on in your life, and I think you've gotten to the point now where, like I said, you're kind of keeping yourself, you're telling yourself I'm setting boundaries because like that's what healthy people do, and that's true. Setting boundaries are okay, but you're overindulging in those boundaries by not letting yourself experience experiences that you would get a lot of joy from, just for the fears of them being stripped away or you being disappointed again. Because it's standing out to me too with like the Iron Man suit. It's literally a suit of like protection, right? And again, like she's also, I think, a robot. So just a lot of hard exterior energy to you. I think you're really scared to be vulnerable with other people because of previous experiences. And it's like a time and a call from spirit to accept that the people that you have cut off or are going to be cutting off, it's time to understand that that was for your best well-being. And just because those people were crappy and they didn't treat you so well, it doesn't mean that everybody is going to be like that. And in order to find your tribe, you have to come to terms with how that situation played out, how it ended. And also, like with this coming through here, I think this is really interesting. I think that you guys have a spirit guide that's a pet. It could be a dog, could be a cat, whatever it may be, but you have at least one solid support person or an animal in your life. For most of you, I'm getting the sense that it's an animal, but can also be like a really close, like best friend as well. But you definitely have like at least one solid person there that you trust, you can feel safe with, you can talk to. And you're being called to understand that this is really all you need. Because, not that I'm saying you should like dump on this person or whatever, because that's not what I'm saying, but it's better to have quality over quantity. And I think that's what's changing for you right now, is the realization around this. Okay, so number 4, how is this negative pattern affecting your spiritual development? Okay, we have falling. Okay. We have curiouser and curiouser. And with these cards here, I was channeling the jump is the scariest part, but you have to do it. Like I'm telling you, Pile 2, it's time for you to take a leap into faith of this vulnerability that you're so afraid of, because people like when other people are vulnerable, and you don't have to like tell everybody like your deepest, darkest fears or anything like that. But I think that you don't even show, like, I don't know, it's like you're scared to show your own humanity in any sense of the word. And this is like what you're being called to jump into at this point, because you really, I'm not gonna tell you have to do anything, but for your benefit, like Spirit's saying, like this is a necessary step for you to move on and continue to try and find this happiness. It's also time for you to get curious about exploring who you are now and what you want to be. I think your identity has shifted a lot in the last couple of years, and it's time to refamiliarize yourself with who you are now, what your wants are, what your needs are, and yeah, just get in touch with who you are without anybody else or anything around. What are the things that you like and that bring you comfort and joy and fulfillment? Because I think you've been in a period of stagnation for too long here. And this is why like this is unfolding for you right now. Okay, number 5 here. Where is this coming from? We have hold your vision, fixed moon. So stubbornness for sure. I think a lot of you are very stubborn. Also very much Taurus energy with this pile. The end of a tough cycle approaches, full moon Capricorn. So definitely you're ending this cycle of stagnation here. This isn't the life you want, and that means not everything and everyone can come with you. That includes the old version of who you used to be. Not all the parts of you that were once there, all the things that you liked and enjoyed, not all of that can come with you. And so I think it's important to make space for you to grieve the previous versions of yourself as well. Their time with you is over, both like the versions of yourself you can't take with you and the other people and other things that you're cutting off from your life, or you have cut off. Just accepting that not everybody is for, how do I phrase this? Not everyone is forever, basically is what I'm getting at. Your time with some people have ended, and your time experiencing certain behaviors has ended as well. So to finish off your reading here, I have some journal prompts for you. You can either like literally write these down in a journal, just sit, meditation, reflection, or just kind of have it in the back of your mind. But firstly, we have what's a habit of, oh, and I want you to answer them using a specific person in your mind. So it can be a book character, it can be a friend, it can be whoever. But what's a habit of mine that you're inspired by? And then we have finish the sentence. You've shown me blank about myself. So use whoever you want from that. Honestly, I think a fictional character might be best, but do whoever first comes to mind when I told you that is who you should do, and sit down and kind of go deeper and see what it is exactly about that inspires you and what you've been shown by this person. So there you go, pile 2. I really enjoyed doing your reading. I think you're in a really good place. I believe in you. You can take this leap of faith. And if you did enjoy this reading, please do leave a like and a comment letting me know if it resonated. If you like my vibe, please stay and subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you here. But either way, I hope you have a beautiful and blessed week and a happy holiday. And I will see you later. Bye. Hi, pile 3. Welcome to your reading. If you chose the blue Santa, you are in the right place. So I have your pre-shuffled cards here, and we're just going to go through the questions one by one. So first we have your overall vibe currently and just sort of your overall energy check-in. And we have coming out merriment, 21, what joy, what glee, beams from the sound of the voices, uplifting the webs of sorrow, glimmering as if no tomorrow. Okay. We also have telling stories. What words so tender can be spoken so bravely unless they are true from the truest of words? Well, first of all, the first thing I heard I didn't even write down. I'm hearing that your throat chakra is really clear right now. Maybe you've been intentionally like being more bold and like blunt with your words, especially if you're like a more soft-spoken person. So Spirit's saying good job with that because it's definitely coming through. And I also feel like you've been leaning into the holiday spirit and just enjoying life and enjoying like the whimsy of the holiday season. Whatever holiday you celebrate, you're really leaning into it and making it fun with your family or your found family, and just having a good time enjoying life right now through the holidays, and like appreciating the whimsy that the holiday season can bring in. I also think I literally wrote down on your cozy shit. I think that you've been in just like a really like cuddly energy, reading a lot more, just making sure you're prioritizing like what is peaceful for you. And I think for a lot of you that's reading, you've probably very likely been getting back into reading recently. I also wrote down potentially you could be getting into reading fan fiction again, but it doesn't really matter specifically what you've been reading. But I think that you've been like really prioritizing that as a practice of mindfulness and like relaxation, and it's been doing wonders as far as like your overall mental health goes, and in like sort of clearing your mind and putting your focus on one specific thing, whatever it is, the book that you're reading, which I've also been like in a reading thing recently. Reading is a great way to relax, and I think that it's probably something that you really enjoyed doing when you were a child. Maybe your grandmother read to you, or like an older member in your family, an older sibling, and now you're passing that down to somebody who's younger in your family, or just like reconnecting with your love of it and like rediscovering that it's kind of like a means of like inner child healing for you as well as it is relaxing. So how has life been lately? We have Venom, let me in, said the spider to the fly. We have Wiccan, self-control, never heard of it. And we have Hella, seize the day. So here I'm picking up on you just doing whatever you want. You really don't care about other people's opinions right now because you've been prioritizing your peace and what is comfortable for you, what makes you feel safe. I think there's a lot of emphasis here too on like regulating your nervous system, whether consciously or like subconsciously. But you've been focusing on like I said, like again, like what makes you feel safe, like buying cozy stuff, maybe like sensory items. I think this is like and I hate I hate this term too, because actually I study like mental health counseling, so take this sparingly, don't take it necessarily in a literal sense. I think some of you might have like sensory issues in general, so you might be neurodivergent, but regardless of if you do or not, I think you've been leaning into a lot of just overall like sensory experiences, in maybe getting like lights for your room or getting like a weighted blanket. You've just been prioritizing like what is your ideal environment to decompress after a long day in, which is great. I love that. That's like the most relaxing thing you can do for yourself. So there's a lot of emphasis around like a sleep or like a wind down routine here. I also do think at the same time, however, that you've been leaning into impulses, whether healthily or unhealthily, and I think likely it's probably both of them, because we have this like self-control, like the never heard of it thing. So I think you might be overindulging just a little bit. Which makes a lot of sense because we did just have like Venus in Libra as well. So there is a tendency to overindulge and like overspend. So that could definitely be a possibility here for you as well. I also wrote down on your villain shit, because we have the let me in, said the spider to the fly. And by this I mean, not like literally you're being a terror, but instead like you're taking what you want, you're not taking no for an answer from other people, because you don't care what they have to say about it. If it's something that you want, like you're gonna get it regardless. That's the energy you've been in, at least. If you're not usually like that, you've been feeling called to just go after what it is that you want. And I think that you channeling this kind of like more like shadowy energy within yourself has helped you be more direct and more, I don't know, it's like you're channeling like a sense of bravery, a sense of like, I will get it done, and that's awesome. So there we go with that. And number 3 here we have what problems are surfacing. So firstly we have cold moon. I love this card, it's so pretty. Oops. We have gratitude. And we have crone. So I just feel like whatever it is that you've been overindulging in a little bit too much in like an unhealthy way, it's sort of draining the color from your life in some sort of way. Like it's taking away a lot of your happiness. And I do think that you're like counteracting it by doing these things and these methods of like seeking peace. But this like bad habit that's surfacing is both draining the color from your life, and I think that it's aging you more quickly as well. And this could be a lot of things. I definitely think that there is an addiction here. If there's not for you, pick a different pile, because there's definitely some sort of addiction here. It could be to one or multiple things. It could be substances, behaviors, and especially gambling and shopping addictions are big here. I think that that's something that you probably really struggle with, or you have been struggling with a lot recently. And I just heard specifically too, like on being influenced on like social media to like buy certain things and like convince yourself that this is gonna add even more peace to my life kind of thing. So that's why I think that it's coming up as like a healthy and unhealthy thing. Like Spirit saying like, while it's good to create those sacred spaces for yourself, it's not good to continue to keep buying everything you see online because you think it's gonna like enhance your life more. So there's definitely, it doesn't have to be the shopping or the gambling, but I get the sense for most of the people here it is around shopping and gambling. And I think that right now these problems are coming forward for you to get to the bottom of them. And that's why at the same time you've been creating this peaceful environment, you're also engaging in these behaviors, because this is a fork in the road moment for you to understand the balance of this. There's a lot of Libra energy here, but for you to understand it's okay to treat yourself and where to draw the line into what itch am I trying to scratch within myself. So Spirit's asking you right now to get to the bottom of this problem. Why is it that you feel the need to engage in these addictive behaviors? Again, whether substances, patterns, or like shopping, gambling, whatever it may be. But the emphasis here is on asking yourself and being honest with yourself. You don't have to tell anybody else, you can just tell yourself, but really digging deep to see where this is coming from within you. Okay, number 4. How is this negative pattern affecting your spiritual development? So first we have nonsense. We have changed in the night. And we have shine bright like a candle. So here I do think that there is some like lying to yourself going on, which is ultimately only hindering your spiritual growth. You might be lying to the people around you as well about your addiction, but there's like a refusal to admit it even like within yourself. And I'm telling you, that's the first place to start, by like just write it down and see how it feels to say that like you have an addiction. Like, it's not something I want you to feel like shame around. It's something that I want you to say as a neutral statement, because lying to yourself is really only hurting you in the long run, because you're using it as a justification to stay small. And I do think there's a lot of justification around, well, I'm doing this because of this, and like telling yourself there's always reasons, right? And I know this stuff can be hard to hear as well. And I'm sorry if you're taking offense to what I'm saying. I'm definitely not coming at it from a judgmental perspective. We all have our own things to work through, and you're at this point that Spirit is telling you you're ready to work through it. That's why it's coming through so strongly. You're ready to be honest with yourself and outgrow this pattern of justification in order to continue the behavior. Because I think that it is, if you are to continue this behavior, it's changing you for the worse. It's bringing out the worst in you, the parts of you that are like sneaky and like want to hide things. And that's just natural when people are struggling with patterns like this. And it's not to say that you're a sneaky person, because you're not. But for you to continue down this path and like continue to enable this behavior, it's going to keep creating you in like a sneaky energy. It's gonna lead you down a bad path. That's what I was saying too, with this is a really like a fork in the road moment for you. And I feel like also, as after that like initial high is gone from the gambling or the shopping or the substance or whatever it is, it leaves you with a sense of losing hope in both yourself and with like life in general. Like, the dopamine rush of it is gone, and you have nothing to sit with like except yourself, and it just makes you feel drained. It makes you very much so like disappointed in yourself, embarrassed. It makes you feel a sense of shame, and those are really difficult feelings to sit with. And that's why I really want you to take time to acknowledge them just with yourself. Let yourself feel those feelings of shame, because the reason you're feeling that is because you know this isn't who you are. This was just a coping mechanism that you adopted for whatever reason it is. It's going to be different for everybody, and it doesn't make you a bad person. Okay, so number 5 here. Where is this coming from? We have a new romantic cycle begins. New moon in Libra, and then we have look at the bigger picture, full moon in Sagittarius. So again, with that Libra energy coming out here too, I think that you really do like the finer things in life, and that's like some part of it, but also with the emphasis of looking at the bigger picture here. Literally, I think that there was a relationship that ended or began or changed course in general. There was a new chapter in your relationship that unfolded in some way. Again, going to be different for everybody. For those of you who have partners, you began a new journey with your partner, whether it was moving in together, taking a step back, getting engaged, married, whether you guys broke up or moved out of like living with that person. There's definitely like a relationship chapter changing here. And I think you're too overwhelmed by the bigger picture that you can't help but escape it through these things. And I think it does, a lot of it comes from a place of anxiety within you and like a want to like control and like make things better. But Spirit wants me to remind you that small steps lead to great distances. So if you're ready, if you sat through this whole message and heard what I had to say, I think you're ready to admit to yourself like where you are with this. And I'm really proud of you regardless of what you do, because you are so worthy of love and in overcoming this, because it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to take control of your life and yourself, and only you can do that if you're ready to do so. So finally, let's end with some journal prompts for you. You can either literally journal or just sit in reflection on these, but we have, what are you proudest of for getting through? ignore the together there. We're just looking at the what are you proudest of for getting through? And what's something I should stop apologizing for? So I want you to sit with those questions. Like I said, journal them, just get introspective about it. But I'm gonna leave your reading here. I do hope it was helpful, pile 3. I really enjoyed doing it. I tried to give you the best possible advice I could. If you did enjoy it, leave me a like on this video and a comment letting me know if it resonated. And if you like my vibe, I would love if you stayed and subscribed to my channel. But either way, have a beautiful and blessed week, and I hope you have a very happy holiday. I will see you soon. Bye.